Welcome back to the MXGP of Turkey here in Afyon, round 18, almost drawing to a close. Just a small matter of MXGP race 2 to look forward to. 30 minutes plus 2 laps. It was a fantastic race in race 1, and we saw some gained ground at the top of the championship as well. We'll see the highlights in a moment, just in case you weren't with us earlier, so I won't spoil the points gap and all the rest of it. But Afyon, the host, a lot of history, a lot of cultural history as well. Moto Fest getting more and more popular just on the fringes of the paddock here. A lot of trade stalls and all kinds of things going on, live music stages and all the rest of it. The hotels, this spa town, very, very popular tourist area. And it's been busy this weekend as well, although temperature's starting to cool, so maybe now time to go and have a bit of a siesta and maybe a glass of something. But you can see the MXGP riders out on track for their sighting lap. Had a fantastic Grand Prix in MX2. If you weren't with us earlier, watch it back on demand. I won't spoil the result. The action was intense, it was frantic. Absolutely fantastic as well. There's the there's the dirt. Clay-based, hard and slick underneath. They fluffed up 1 or 2 areas in the 1 hour break between MXGP Race 1 and MX2 Race 2. But it's still got that edge about it. Push it too hard, it will bite you. And we're at altitude as well, so breathing, the bike's also breathing. Everybody's suffering here, especially when the sun's out, but fortunately for the riders now, this second race looks like it's going to be under cooler conditions. Bit of cloud cover, not as humid. But let's take a look at what happened in the first MXGP race, shall we? No rush. Lucas Coenen, gate number 1, over on our right-hand side. He came away with the foxhole shot for the 12th time. Isaac Gifting, Brent Van Donnick went down mid-turn. Herlings emerged in second. Then Geiser found his way past, but Herlings quick to find his way past the Slovenian in the next couple of corners, and that might have been crucial as well, because he was able to latch on to the number 96 for a little bit at least. Romain Febvre was buried in around about 7th. He had to find his way past his teammate and Maxime Renault to get himself onto 4th on the rear wheel of Geiser. Fernandez, who didn't make a great start either, barged his way past Jonas to move into 6th on lap 6. As Febvre started to close in on Geiser for 3rd. He made the move on lap 7, and that's where he would stay. Geiser came home in 4th ahead of his teammate, Fernandez. Late on in the race, Calvin Vallanderen got the better of Paul Jonas as he moved into 7th position. That's where he would stay, despite closing in on his teammate, Maxime Renault, later on, who just a little bit further up the track got caught and passed by Ruben Fernandez. Fernandez now in the 5th, Renault 6th, but it was a comfortable win. 13th of the season, 6th career win for Lucas Coenen from Herlings, Febvre, Geiser, Fernandez. Renault was 6 from Vallanderen. Championship now 24 points, the difference between Febvre and Coenen. Let's go down to the grid. Maxime Renault and Tim Geiser caught up with Lisa Leyland, or maybe the other way around, who knows?
We're almost ready for the final race of today, which is the second MXGP race. Let's grab a few words with Team HRC's Tim Geiser. Firstly, Tim, how's that arm pump treating you?
Yeah, it's quite bad, but I mean, the track is quite strange. It's not so rough, so the pace is quite high, but then you're carrying a lot of speed into the bumps as well, into the corners. So yeah, I got, again, quite big arm pump in the first moto, but the pace was okay. The guys didn't go too far ahead, so hopefully I can take a good start now in the second race and try to stay with them as long as possible. So yeah, that's the goal.
Have a good race. Thank you, Tim. Okay, let's catch up now with Monster Energy Yamaha Factory MXGP rider Maxime Renault. Maxime, it looked like in that first race you were just riding quite a comfortable, lonely race in 5th. I know Ruben Fernandez passed you, he was definitely on a charge. Do you think that's perhaps probably because he got more intel off the track, he kind of like had more knowledge behind him and maybe caught you off guard a little bit?
Yeah, just not so happy about that first moto. Fell into a bad rhythm alone I couldn't follow the leading group of the 4 guys in front, and then yeah, I fell into a bad rhythm. So hopefully this time I can get a good start again and follow the group from the front and hopefully battle with them.
Maxime, is it fair to say at this stage now it's just a case of riding yourself back into fitness before the big one at the end of the year?
Yeah, sure it is. That's the goal. So we are building up. Obviously, I still feel that I'm not in a race ready, let's say, compared to the top guys. I know I belong there and I can be there, but it takes a bit more time than what I expected. So yeah, we'll try to do it as quick as possible and be back for the end of the season.
Best of luck, thank you. Okay, good luck there to Maxime and all the guys. It's time for the final race of the day, MXGP Race 2.
Yeah, Maxime Renault there with 6th in race 1. Here's where we've been then. Turkey just all but done and dusted. Then we've got the final 2 rounds. Next week, China. The week after that, Australia. Some serious air miles. And then, of course, we go from there to the USA, the Monster Energy FIA Motocross of Nations. Some riders, some journalists may be thinking about staying out in Australia for a little bit of a siesta, but I think the majority coming back to Europe and then turning left, heading back across the Atlantic for the big one, the Nations. Here's how the riders line up then for their second race, same as they did for race 1, and it's going to be Lucas Coenen on pole for the 7th time this season, Jeffrey Herlings second, Romain Febvre goes to line 3rd, then Geiser, Renault, Jonas, Gifting and Valandren, and then just behind them Ruben Fernandez and Jan Panzer and the rest of the riders as you'll see on screen. But just yeah, talking to Maxime Renault there a moment ago, wasn't happy with his pace, wasn't happy with the way that first race went, but he has been on the podium 3 times here in the past, and even though he was 6th in race 1, it's not impossible, it's not, you know, kind of out of the question for him to find his way onto the podium here this weekend, but there are some good riders ahead of him that are right at the very top of their game. Renault was 2nd twice in MX2 and 3rd a couple of years ago in MXGP. Romain Febvre, Kawasaki Racing Team, continues to lead the championship in MXGP, but at the start of the weekend, his lead at 31 points has now been cut to 24 to that man right there, Lucas Coenen, who was fantastic with his 13th race win in that first race. And with Febvre down in 3rd, there was a gain of 5 points. So over the course of the weekend, because don't forget, 31 points down to 29 after the qualifying race, down to 24 after race 1. Are we going to see similar gains? Either way for Febvre and Coenen. Herlings and Geiser, well, I'm sure they'll have their say. Maxime Renault, 6th in race 1, just wasn't happy with his rhythm, wasn't happy at all with the first race. Fernandez caught him napping, 5 laps to go to move into 5th. Came under pressure from his teammate as well in the last lap, but he managed to hold firm in that 6th as Valandren came home in 7th. Ruben Fernandez, all he's done all weekend is come through traffic, and he did the same again in race 1 to get back to 5th position. For a Honda HRC 4.5, Geiser struggling with arm pump. Calvin Valandren will be hoping for a turnaround here if he can. Slightly better than 7th if he can. And Jan Panzer, 9th in the first race. He started just inside the top 10, but he was passed by Valandren early on in the race. Then she came home in 9th, just ahead of the Ducati of 101, Mattia Guadagnini. Solid ride for Paul Jonas, still riding his way back to fitness. Started 5th, 6th, eventually came home in 8th for Kawasaki Racing Team. And Brent Van Donnik fell at turn 1 when Gifting fell in front of him, had nowhere to go. Van Donnik was 17th, Gifting came home in 15th place. Fortunately, both riders able to pick themselves up and rejoin the race, but these guys lining up on the inside, the left gates right as we look down from our vantage point here, from the confines of an air-conned booth, more akin to a broom cupboard. That's the view down, 85 metres to that first turn from that inside gate. 24 points separate Febvre and Coenen as we head into race 2 here. The final race of the weekend, the MXGP of Turkey at Afyon, the Fly Racing 15-second border. Is this going to be a big one? Can Febvre respond and turn the tables on Lucas Coenen? Oh, Coenen tried to go 1 or 2 times there, and it may have cost him because Febvre comes in, so too does Gifting. Gifting cornering like he's on rails. But it's Febvre who comes over the line with the foxhole shot and leads into the first turn. Coenen alongside him in second. Herlings and Gifting and Coenen 3 abreast as they hit that first single. And it's Herlings who emerges somehow in that second place. Gifting's fuse has been lit. There's Geiser as well in that 4th place. Coenen getting duffed up good and proper and shuffled back into what, 5th, 6th place. There's your first 4, 5, 6 riders. Coenen in 6th, Renault just behind him in 7th. Frantic opening few corners here. Right. Febvre chooses not to show that transfer, but he exits the transfer, closes down the door on Herlings. Geiser up to 3rd, Gifting down to 4th. Oh, trying to sneak up the inside of the Frenchman there, the number 84, who won his 110th Grand Prix victory at home in the Netherlands 2 weekends ago. Looking for more. And at the moment, if he stays ahead of Coenen, then the top step will be his. Depends what else happens, of course, in and around. Because, a reminder, race 1, Coenen your winner, Herlings 2nd, Febvre 3rd, Geiser 4th, and Fernandez 5th. Romain Febvre with exactly the start that he needed. And as we hit the line here, to start our first official lap, remember, finish line to finish line, it's Febvre, Herlings, Geiser, Gifting just, and then Coenen in 5th place. So the point swing there, you'd have Febvre on 25 points. Herlings was going by Antalya there, or Istanbul, I'm not sure he was that far wide on the exit of the turn. But Febvre on 25 points. Coenen is going to be looking at a 16-point haul if he stays where he is, but from what we've seen so far, it doesn't look like he'll be content to stay there anytime soon. Geiser sizing up a nervous looking back Jeffrey Herlings, who trying to hang on to that 2nd place on the number 84, slamming the berm, and Coenen has found his way into 4th place. There he is, he's found his way past Gifting into that 4th place. Got a bit of work to do now though, has the young Belgian. And it was not often you'd probably hear these words come out of my mouth, with Herlings and Geiser maybe tripping each other up. Will that allow Coenen just to close in on them? There's Gifting. Fantastic start for the newly crowned Italian champion there in white. Sits there in 5th on the JK Racing Yamaha. All signed, sealed and delivered again for another year. The Super Swede could do with a good solid result here in race 2. But who was it that grabbed that foxhole shot right at the start of the race? We'll get a, once they've determined the margins, was it him or was it Febvre? He looked like he definitely got a good jump, but there, confirmation on screen. Foxhole shot winner, Isaac Gifting. So not Romain Febvre. And Gifting with his first in the Premier class. One lap complete then. Febvre leads the way. 1.5 seconds cleared. Herlings, Geiser, Coenen, Gifting in 5th. Fernandez 6, Renault 7, Villano up to 8. He's found his way past Van Donnick, who drops to 9. Jonas up to 10. Koldenhoff 11 on his 250th Grand Prix start. Let's have a look at the start again then. Good reactions over on this side, but look, man in white, red boots, Isaac Gifting around the outside here. And Isaac Gifting just edging out Romain Febvre. Gifting hasn't had a foxhole shot since Mantova race 1. That was Mantova 2 in 2020. So just his 2nd career foxhole shot. Isaac Gifting. Meanwhile, Coenen finding his way past Geiser. Moves into 3rd. And quickly onto the rear wheel of Herlings. Here's how he did it. Coming out of turn 4 on this 2nd lap. hooks a gear. Full drive, full send, alongside his mate. Goes after the bullet, who Herlings said after race 2 in the Netherlands 2 weekends ago. Not sure if he could have withstood the pressure for another lap from the Belgian, who definitely made him work hard for that 110th Grand Prix victory at home in the sand. There's Gifting in white off the bottom of the screen. He's still there in 5th position, learning again, sat behind these guys here, the top 4 riders in the world at the moment. Closing in on Geiser is Gifting. Coenen with the fastest lap of the race though, 1:56.208 on lap 2. 1:54, still got a long way to go to get to the quickest lap from race 1. Geiser going back after Coenen. Arm pump hasn't been his friend this weekend in Türkiye. Tim Geiser pumped in race 1 and in the qualifying race on Saturday, hoping to avoid all of those problems here in race 2 so we can have a proper, fair race with Febvre, Herlings and Coenen ahead of him. Good effort this from Gifting, hanging on in there. The first 5 riders separated by 6.1 seconds after 2 laps. We're on lap 3 at the moment. Febvre, 2.2 seconds clear. You don't want anything to do with the battle going on behind him. Just wants to get his head down, because he also knows the threat is real. If Lucas Coenen finds his way past Herlings, then has clear air to whittle him down on the number 3 machine. Here is Coenen. .24 points heading into race 2. It's going to go back out to 29. Yes, there'll be a gain of a couple of points over the course of the weekend when you take the qualifying race points into consideration from Saturday. Coenen won't be keen on that. 22 minutes plus 2. Still a long way to go. Take another look at the start. Look at Gifting. Cuts across everybody there. Febvre just thought he was tight enough. He certainly got to the second corner ahead of everybody else, but it was Gifting with that second career foxhole shot. His first in the Premier class, his first since 2020. Herlings picking up the front end as he goes in pursuit of Febvre, setting the fastest lap that time around, 1:55.903. We are inching towards the respectable times from race 1, but whether we get there or not in the 54s remains to be seen. 450s though, a different animal. Try riding them absolutely flat out for 30 plus 2. Especially on a track like this. Edgy, unpredictable, hard, slick. Doing a good job to keep Coenen back there behind him. Maybe Coenen just pacing himself as well. Yeah, he might be the rookie to the class, but he ain't no rookie. His words, not ours. Just the race management in MXGP on a 450, completely different to MX2 on a 250, where he could have just gone full send when he was in the lights class. But as we watch Jeffrey Herlings here in second, Mattia Guadagnini in for Aruba.IT Ducati. Let's go down to Lisa Leyland. She's in pit lane with JK Racing, Yamaha and Giuliano.
Giuliano, we saw Isaac Gifting take the foxhole shot. He's looking good so far. I saw you right on the pit board. 2:43 is possible. You have faith in him, don't you?
Yeah, finally we got that hole shot after a few rounds that he's been so close. He's been so close for that. Yeah, I feel like he was faster in some section of the track and he was catching team. So I feel like even this lap he was a bit faster. So yeah, why not?
Giuliano, what What do you think Isaac learned from his home GP? Obviously, he showed some great form, but it was definitely a learning weekend for him.
Yeah, for sure it was a learning, but at least he showed that he can be one of them. Especially in the hard pack, he was like his weak point normally, but now he showed that he can be one of them. That the home GP was special for the crowd and everything, but it's still same track, same bike, so yeah, you know, it's possible again.
Best luck to the team, thank you.
Romain Febvre responds to the threat that is Jeffrey Herlings by setting the fastest lap this time around, although only by a couple of hundredths of a second, because the gap's still 1.7 seconds. Febvre leads over Jeffrey Herlings. There is the gap between the first two. Coenen 2 seconds further back. Then Geiser, similar distance behind Coenen. Then Gifting, 1.7 behind Geiser in that 5th place. All riders setting their best laps of the race on lap 4 that time around. We're on lap 5. Febvre setting the fastest lap of the race on lap 4. Narrow margins though. Right, Herlings looks like he's warmed up here. Broken free from the shackles. Decided, you know what, go time. See what we can do. See if we can ruffle a few feathers. Come away with the race win, a Grand Prix victory. And if he does that, of course, there'll be back-to-back wins for the 2nd time this year, because the last time he did that was rounds 10 and 11, Germany and Latvia. With victorious in the Netherlands, round 17. He's all over the back of Romain Febvre here, threatening Febvre. Remember, Herlings 2nd in race 1, Febvre 3rd. They're 1st and 2nd here now. Look at that roost sandwich off the rear wheel of the Kawasaki for Herlings. Could have got him a kebab from the paddock. Much more enjoyable, probably. It's the simple things. Anyway, Febvre continues to lead. Herlings. Coenen just losing touch at the minute, 2.5 seconds further back. Febvre would win the overall on 45. Coenen 45. Herlings 44. Geiser closing in on Coenen again. So this Grand Prix not done yet. 1 point in it between the first 3 in the overall classification. But Febvre responding well to the threat from Herlings. 17 minutes plus 2 to go. First 4 just starting to eke clear now. 2.7 the gap to Gifting in 5th. With Geiser here in 4th on the 243 Honda HRC machine. 3rd race back from that shoulder injury. Took him out of action in race 6, at round 6. Again, riding for personal pride, really, because he's sitting 4th overall in this Grand Prix on 36 points at the moment. His top 3-4 positions can swing pretty quickly in the next 16 minutes. Gap back down to less than a second between Febvre and Herlings. .4 seconds separate the first 4 riders as they hit the line. 11 laps to go, based on race 1, which was a 17-lapper. Light starting to fade here in Affion. But Herlings refusing to lie down here, continues to apply the pressure to Romain Febvre, who's done a fantastic job on that Kawasaki machine, Kawasaki racing team, the number 3, of dealing with the 84 and the persistence of the bullet. Follows it in to that little flip-flop right-left. Then opts for the outside line. Maybe there's a little bit more dirt, can get on the fat part of the tyre just that little bit more efficiently. Who knows? Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Good drive out of here, though. Can't find his way past. Remember, he launched past Koldenhoff there a couple of years ago at the end of those waves. So we know he can get through there pretty decently. Less than a bike length in it through that turn. Switches to the inside. Can he find a way through? Shows Febvre a front fender. Febvre didn't even flinch. Heard the machine, saw the orange flash alongside him, held firm. They cross the line now, 6/10 apart. As they pushed the boundaries even more. 3.5 seconds further back, Lucas Coenen, who's eyeing up second overall, but a share of the points in the Grand Prix with Febvre. Watch this here. Look as he goes down the inside here, Herlings. Committed, doubled his way in single. Febvre just jumping a little bit longer. Then he cuts to the right-hand side. Herlings probably sensed that. He committed to the left. How much of this can Febvre take? Third in the qualifying race. Third in the time practice session, Romain Febvre. Third in race 1. Currently leading here in race 2. The consistency has been there, looking to get back on the podium, preferably the top step, after missing the podium for just the second time, last time out in the Netherlands, where he was 5th overall for the second time this year. Oh, he sensed what Herlings was going to do there. Slowed it up, gave Herlings absolutely no room to manoeuvre. This is experience from both these riders here. Reading each other like a book. Cut to the outside, square him off. Febvre goes, I'm going to go into here. He's going to cut to the inside and square me off. Not a chance, not on my watch. Going to try his luck down the inside here again. Wasn't quite close enough last time. Not this time around either. Well, he got good drive through there though, didn't he? The number 84. Going to jump long, doubles his way into the turn, and he does find his way past Febvre. That'll be music to the ears of Coenen. He would have seen that and think, right, there's 3 more points in my back pocket in terms of the championship. Thanks, Jeff. 9 laps, now go. Febvre knows there didn't need to be a message other than 9 laps. He knows what's at stake here. Got good drive here. That's where it all started. And as he came into land, he knew Febvre would go defensive, so he said, you know what, you go single, single, I'll go double. And instead of committing to the outside, he squeezed Febvre to the inside, took over the lead. Herlings in control. And there's Coenen with his rival right in his line of sight once more. Febvre not going to want to sit back and take this one lying down though, is he? Take a breather. Not too much of a breather though. Try and pick up on some of the lines here. See if they can work for him. Testing the boundaries there, testing the lines. Follows him in here. Thinks, maybe that one's not as good for me. Who knows? But with that move that Herlings put on Febvre, Coenen clawing back 3 championship points. And he's all over the back of Febvre now in that turn. It was 1.3 the gap at the end of the wave section. But look how Coenen is closing in now, look. Just there. He fancies his chances. Nine laps in the books when we hit the line this time around. Herlings 56.1. Oh, Lucas Coenen, fastest lap of the race. He's just woken up, hasn't he? He's had his Turkish siesta. Decided to join the party. 1.2 behind Febvre now. This is number 96, and only 2.5 seconds, 2.4 off the lead. And he guns for the number 3. Gap 26 points as it stands right now. At the top of the championship table, was 31 at the start of the weekend. Came down to 29, went down to 24, back out to 26 because of where they are now. Febvre gaining a position and therefore a couple of points on the Belgian at the moment in this second race. Sandwiched between two Red Bull KTMs, the Austrian side, the Italian side. Coenen's going to transfer here. Look, there you go. Straight line into that left-hander. Nine and a half minutes plus 2 to go. What's Febvre's response going to be? Coenen, we've seen his fastest lap of the race. Can he maintain that kind of pace, though, for the remainder of this race? There's Geiser coming into view in 4th position. Fernandez, he's up to 5th. Gifting is dropped down to 7th. So Renault 6. Vlaanderen finding his way past Gifting, moves into 7th. Gifting down to 8th now. So despite that fiery start, Gifting now just starting to fade. Maybe there was a mistake from him, who knows? Three seconds between the first three now. Herlings 1.1 clear of Febvre. Febvre not keen just to sit there, though, is he? There's Jonas coming into sight over the line. He's in 9th place, or he was. Here's Gifting. And Maxime Renault. So Herlings leads, Febvre 2nd, Coenen 3rd, Geiser 4th, Fernandez 5th, Renault 6th. Here's Vlaanderen, finding his way into 7th with this move on Gifting early on in that last lap, lap 10. Through the waves. For 7th place. We'll get a wide shot here in a minute. We'll see how close these top 3 are. There's Herlings, there's Febvre. Just starting to creep back up on them is Coenen. Geiser hasn't been dropped either. That's what he said in the pre-race interview. While he had arm pump, the top 3 guys didn't get away from him. Not like he expected anyway, so I suppose from that aspect, probably thinking, well, you know what? Under normal circumstances, probably got the pace to go with them. .2 now the gap between these two. Coenen 2.1 further back. Geiser just keeping a watching brief. Time ticking away here. Herlings a 4-time winner here in Affion. Febvre on the podium, 2nd overall here in 23 with their 1st and a 3rd. 3rd overall in 22 with an 8th and a race win, so he's had a couple of race wins around here. Got to be careful of that edge. Herlings just starting to inch away ever so slightly. A 10th here and a 10th there. It was 1.5 as they hit the line. As we hit the next split here, the second split, 1.6, so still not much to brag about, is that Coenen not able to inject the pace that he wants to get close to Febvre. Watch this here, but seen them worse than that. That's Koldenoff, who went out spectacularly there from free practice. Talking of which, Koldenoff on his 250th Grand Prix appearance. 12th in race 1. Currently 10th in race 2. Definitely feeling beat up and second hand. Battered and bruised. Going to be eyeing up 9th overall here. Fernandez will gain ground on him in that fight for 3rd place in the championship. Koldenoff on 6:37, Fernandez on 5:57. 80 points that gap. It was 94 at the start of the weekend. So a good solid day for Ruben Fernandez. At the moment, pulling back 14 points on the Hoff. But it's still 80 points, isn't it, with 2 rounds to go. Eyes focused on that first turn. 8 seconds behind his teammate. 3 or 4 tenths slower. Here is Koldenoff, third in the championship in a moment. It's been a very difficult weekend on his 250th Grand Prix start. Not giving up without a fight, though, is he? On course for what will be a second bronze medal in the MXGP category in his career. 10 years in the class, of course. A few years prior to that, he was in MX2. Again, a rider just trying to dig in deep, just trying to pick up as many points as possible. You don't know how important those points will be. And in this case, going to be 21 points towards his championship tally this weekend, with 2 rounds to go. Febvre keeping Herlings honest at the head of the field. It was on our studio show on Saturday. Jeffrey Herlings was good chat, good value. If you haven't watched it on the platform, of course, watch it back on demand. It's free. Three minutes plus 2 to go. Is there going to be a sting in the tail here as far as these two are concerned? Because they're separated by 1.6 seconds after 13 laps. Coenen now 3 seconds further back. Geiser inching towards the 96. Less than a second as they hit the line at the end of lap 13. Is he just starting to run out of steam, Lucas Coenen? Again, these two might be buddies, but when the race starts and the helmets are on, it's all about business. Geiser doesn't want to give too much incentive to Lucas Coenen. You know, doesn't want to get used to having him beat him when they go toe-to-toe like this. So the impetus with Geiser at the moment, just to find his way past the number 96 here. If he does that, of course, Romain Febvre might be the first to buy him a drink, because he'll take a couple of points away from the Belgian in that championship fight. We'll worry about that in a minute. Still 2 minutes to go. 3 laps to go then. Up to 12th as he moves by Gifting on the JK Yamaha. Panzer TEM JP-253 KTM Racing. The gap between first and second now beyond 2 seconds, 2.3 seconds. Herlings now just starting to maybe turn it up a little bit in the latter stages of this race. Keep an eye on the gap, though, between Febvre and Coenen, because if Geiser is pushing Coenen, he's going to up his pace, maybe find his way onto the rear wheel. Let's have a look what the gap is. Between first and second, we're 2.2. Second and third, we're 2.3. Geiser, 1.3 further back. 6 seconds separating the first 4 now. Haven't seen too much of Fernandez, but he's 8 seconds further back, coming into view now on the left in that bold turn. Then Renault, Flandrin, Jonas, Koldenoff and Bonacorsi. 2 Fantics line astern. Koldenoff 9th. Interesting Grand Prix this weekend in Türkiye. Fascinating at the sharp end, wasn't it? Coenen with his 13th race win in the first race, 36th career victory. Jeffrey Herlings at the other end of the scale, his 207th Grand Prix start. Eyeing up his 211th race win. Just think how many more he could have attained had he not missed 2 full seasons and a bunch more races through injuries over the course of the years. Scary when you look at it like that, isn't it? In an interview I heard a few years ago with him, he could have said, yeah, I could have even had like, 7, 8 world champ at that time. And he could have stuck on 5 at the moment. Febvre going for his second. The first was 10 years ago. Into the final 2 laps. Doing a great job keeping Herlings in his line of sight, but here comes Coenen, 1.6 now. There's going to be a late charge here from Lucas Coenen as he eyes up and sizes up Romain Febvre. That's the gap. Your first 3 riders in the second corner. Coenen starting to rub his hands and lick his lips here at the prospect of a second place finish. And 2 more championship points if he can find his way past Febvre. Having to pace himself this time around. Couldn't afford to blow the gasket early on, go for broke, and then found wanting in the latter stages. But again, has he timed this late charge to perfection, yes or no? We do not know. It's broken free from Geiser, crucially. Geiser no more a threat. With 2 to go. Oh, he cuts to the inside, looking at options. If he's close enough on the final lap, you know what? There's a passing opportunity right there. Got to keep his wheels clean, though, between now and then. Will there be a desperate lunge? Be like a win it or bin it mentality to take that second position away from the Frenchman. Oh, he's getting closer, isn't he? Heading into the final lap. First 3 riders are going to be separated probably by about 3 seconds, aren't they? 3.1. But it's Herlings who has a 2-second advantage over Febvre, leaving the Frenchman to deal with Coenen. Oh, he's nice and tight out of that turn, isn't he? We've got a back marker ahead of him. Down past pit lane, shouldn't cause too much of a problem. Herlings in the driving seat since he took the lead on lap 9. Not saying he can relax a little bit with that 2-second advantage, but Romain Febvre certainly can't relax here. Not with Coenen this close as he's been since the start of the race. And look at the charge from the Belgian. Oh, caught in a horrible hole there on takeoff. Body language just unseated him. Keeps it on 2 wheels though, chasing the dirt round the outside. Watch his line here as Febvre goes right left, the traverse across there, the transfer. And here is the move. He's going to launch up the inside. He tried it a lap ago, he wasn't close enough. Oh, he can't get in there. Febvre knows he's there though. A drag race through the waves. He may have to commit to the outside, depending on what drive he gets here. And he does commit to the outside. Handful of corners to go. Herlings out of sight. Febvre can't afford any bobbles. Coenen, can he launch it down the inside where Herlings couldn't? No. One more straight, one more turn. Febvre, nervous look over the shoulder. Heart in his mouth. Coenen looking for the launch down the inside. Herlings wins the race. Febvre second. Coenen third. 2.4 seconds separate the first 3 at the end of 17 laps. Herlings Grand Prix victory number 111. 5 now on Turkish soil.
Bir turdan olsaydı Coenen'in arkasında kalabilirdi. Çok sıkıştırdı. Kazanan
But Romain Febvre
Coenen 3.
and Lucas Coenen continue to provide the fireworks. 26 points the gap between them with 2 rounds to go. Yes, he's gained some ground. 5 points. Watch this here. Tried to launch, it wasn't close enough, but he knew what he wanted to do. Just couldn't get in there. You know what? That would have been me. I'd have gone for broke. Put them both down on the ground, see who gets up first. The championship. You're running out of time. Bottled it at the last minute, potentially. Zach Osborne, anybody? How bad do you want a championship? Well, that was the last round, wasn't it? Handful of corners to go.
Dünya şampiyonası yolunda 39 puan farklı Fransa'da. Önde filenin sultanları.
Herlings, Febvre, Coenen, Geiser, Fernandez, your top 5. Herlings, Coenen, Febvre, Geiser, Fernandez, your overall.
Zirvede kapattı. Febvre ikinci oldu ve Coenen üçüncü oldu. Damalı bayrak son kez sallandı. Çok güzel görüntüler vardı.
Go down to Lisa. She's with Jeffrey Herlings, victory number 111. And back-to-back wins for his 4th Grand Prix victory of the season. And you know what? It's his best run of podiums, 3 in a row now.
Jeffrey Herlings, congratulations. That's back-to-back overall victories for you, sealed with a race win. The consistency is there.
Yeah, definitely super pleased with this win. It didn't come easy. This is for a Dutch rider one of the most difficult tracks. I mean, yes, I've won actually 111 GPs after today, but still tracks like this don't come easy to the Dutchies. But we did good. Super pleased with a 2-2 and a 1 for the overall for the weekend. So yeah, up to China next weekend.
You have won 5 times here, so it must be pretty easy for you.
Oh, easy. This was definitely one of the most difficult ones, to be sure. But we kept pushing till the end. The track was very difficult to pass. So, yeah, managed to get it done.
Great job, Jeffrey. Thank you.
Jeffrey Herlings goes all Jean-Michel Bayle on us. 1-1-1. 111 victories for the Bullet. I know that's a definite target audience reference, but the number 84 Red Bull KTM rider, second and a first, his 5th victory around here at Affion, on the toughest circuit of all for a Dutchman. Righto, Jeff, righto. Whatever you say, Jeff, whatever you say. Take a look at the results then, shall we? Jeffrey Herlings wins race 2 from Romain Febvre, Lucas Coenen, Tim Geiser and Ruben Fernandez. Maxime Renault 6, Kevin Vlaanderen 7 and Paul Jonas 8. Look at that. 2 Kawasaki's, 2 KTM's, 2 Hondas, 2 Yamahas. Not quite symmetrical, but you know. 9th for Glenn Koldenoff and Bonacorsi, 2 Fantics are next. Of course, Van Donnick 11, Panzer, Watson, Heerts, Gifting and Siwa. And then we've got Bogas, Tomcock, Prunier and Guadagnini. The overall for the 111th time belongs to Jeffrey Herlings, a 2nd and a 1st, 47 points. Lucas Coenen, 2nd overall, 3rd and a 1st and a 3rd. Romain Febvre goes 3-2. Geiser and Fernandez, the 2 Hondas, round out the top 5 from Renault, Vlaanderen and Jonas. 9th for Koldenoff, 10th for Jan Panzer. In terms of the championship, Romain Febvre's lead was 31 points over Lucas Coenen coming into the weekend. After the qualifying race, it was 29 points. After race 1, it was 24. But now, as we leave Turkey for China, it's back out to 26. Febvre will consider that a good weekend, I would imagine. Koldenoff 3rd, still decent points over Fernandez, with Vlaanderen there in 5th place. But Herlings gaining ground, look, just 6 points behind Vlaanderen in 5th. Ben Watson leapfrogs Brian Bogers to 12th for MRT Racing Beta. Take a look at the manufacturers' standings. 10 manufacturers in MXGP this year, but it's KTM who lead the way from Kawasaki and Honda. Yamaha there in 4th, Pantic in 5th. Ducati having a decent season. Their first full year in 6th place, and we've got Beta and Husqvarna, Gas and Triumph. Take a look at the whole shot, shall we? Isaac Gifting by about a half a bike length. His second career Foxhole shot. And Isaac Gifting, his first in MXGP. His first one coming in race 1. Mantova 2 when we had those 3 races in a row in 2020 in COVID times. Of course, that was MX2, wasn't it? All that time ago. Good job, Isaac, good job. Another one for the shelf. Go down to the podium then, shall we?
Dünyanın 180 ülkesine canlı yayınla ulaştı. Şimdi MXGP'de Antiatlo Motofest'te Podium zamanı.
So the podium here then, round 18, the FIM MXGP of Türkiye at Afyon, 3rd overall. This weekend, Romain Febvre, 3rd and 2nd for the Kawasaki Racing Team rider.
Lucas Coenen.
Lucas Coenen, 2nd overall, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing. Over the course of the weekend has gained ground. 26 points now the gap as we move into the final 2 rounds. Coenen with his 29th podium. Jeffrey Herlings, your overall winner, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing. 2nd and the 1st for the Bullet. Back-to-back wins as well, 3 podiums in a row. For the first time this year. Jeffrey Herlings all smiles on the top step of the podium with win number 111. Valentina Ranić will take the team trophy. She's been there every step of the way of Jeffrey Herlings' 111 Grand Prix victories. Team coordinator there at Red Bull KTM Factory Racing, like his 2nd mum. The Afyon Deputy Mayor, Ömer Yildiz, hands a 3rd place trophy to Romain Febvre. Again, thanks to all the local dignitaries, police, security, everybody else in and around this area to make this Grand Prix happen. Round 18 in the books. 2nd overall, Lucas Coenen, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing. Overall, not a bad weekend's work. The Afyon Deputy Governor hands the 2nd place trophy to the Belgian. But Jeffrey Herlings, only 111 Grand Prix victories now. Going to need another shelf. Afyon Deputy Governor handing the winner's trophy to Jeffrey Herlings for his 111th Grand Prix victory.
Nedim Aslan gives trophy to the winner team coordinator Valentina Ranić.
Valentina Ranić will take the trophy. She's like, oh, please. Shush, boys. Go on, Valley. One of the most popular people in the paddock, Valentina Ranić. She's been around for an absolute eternity in this sport. She was around when I was racing, bless her. Antonio Alia Portela, the FIM CMRS director, hands the championship leader's red plate to Romain Febvre. That plate arrived on the front of the Kawasaki. We go to China for the penultimate round with that plate still attached to the KRT machine. The gap was 31, it's now 26, but he continues to lead with 2 rounds to go.
Manufacturers National Anthem of Austria.
National anthem of the Netherlands, Jeffrey Herlings, and of Austria, KTM, winning manufacturer here. The MXGP of Türkiye comes to an end. Jeffrey Herlings with victory 111 in the books. He takes the top step of the podium. Second overall, Lucas Coenen. Third overall, Romain Febvre. We'll talk to the top three in a moment, but not before we've seen the highlights of race 2. Final race of the day, MXGP, race 2. We thought it was maybe Romain Febvre who snuck around the inside, but with his first foxhole shot in the Premier Class and just his second since 2020. It was Isaac Gifting who got over the line first. Didn't last long though. Febvre quickly into the lead. Herlings quickly into second. Gifting tried to put up a bit of resistance though, but Herlings was coming through no matter what. Behind them, Geiser and Coenen and Fernandez. Fernandez snuck by there after a mistake from the Belgian, who then had even more work to do. Could that have been a costly error at the start of the race for the number 96? Eventually, as the race went on, Coenen did find his rhythm, found himself alongside Geiser as he moved into third place. But it took Jeffrey Herlings a little longer to find his way into the lead. Lap 9 of 17. Sweet move, doubled his way in, took the same line as Febvre, who went defensive. Jeffrey Herlings then started to pull clear. This was the final lap. Lunge that Coenen tried to make the move for second position to gain back 2 more points. But in the end, Febvre held firm. Jeffrey Herlings was your winner in race 1 from Febvre, Coenen, Geiser and Fernandez. The overall victory for the 111th time went to Herlings with Coenen second, Febvre third, Geiser and Fernandez. Your top 5.
Jeffrey Herlings, congratulations. That's back-to-back overall victory. Second in race 1, really nice move in Febvre in race 2 for that race win. Tell us about your weekend.
Yeah, it was really good, better than I could really expect, you know. So obviously we're quite higher, so we had to change some things on the bike, but it was only in a big positive. I think our bike was really, really good throughout the weekend. So shout out to KTM for providing me with such a good bike. And furthermore, yeah, went 2-2-1. Obviously today 2-1, and 2-1 gives me the overall. So super pleased with that. GP win 111. So looking forward to China next weekend. 2 more GPs to go. So let's try to finish this year as strong as we can.
Thanks, Jeffrey. Second overall today, we have Lucas Coenen. Lucas, that first race, pretty much perfect race to get a race win, your 13th this season. Really had to dig deep in that second race, maybe left your charge a little bit too late, but how was it from your seat?
I mean, yeah, not much to say. Beginning of the weekend was good till second motor start. I wanted to go a bit early, and came from the back, and they were already in the front, so I tried to come back. At one point I was a bit sleeping out there, and then yeah, in the end I wanted to push, but you know, I'm still young. I was a bit shy in the last lap. I could have run into him, but I mean, that's racing. I mean, I had one opportunity, I didn't do it. I was friendly, but I mean, yeah, now it's on. 2 races to go, so we'll give everything we have and try to learn and to get bigger as not only 18-year-old, get more old. So yeah, I mean, looking forward to the 2 other races, and let's try to be more sharp.
Okay. Thank you, Lucas. Third overall today, we have Romain Febvre. Romain a third and a second. Really managed the pressure well from Coenen behind you in that second race. How are you feeling out there?
Yeah, second moto I was better, and yeah, I took the whole shot, I think, so that was yeah, good. That I could manage to do that the first moto because we made the change a little bit too late, but anyway, it works in the second moto. And then yeah, I was leading and I saw Jeffrey was behind, and at that point I was like, oh, I'm winning the GP. So it was good, but yeah, Jeffrey passed me, and then I tried to stay with him. And yeah, of course, the last few laps, Luca, I think, went really hard and tried to pass me, but yeah, I could manage to finish second. So didn't lose so many points. It's pretty good, and yeah, we'll see next weekend.
Thanks, Romain.
Romain Febvre third overall this weekend then, round 18, 2 to go. The number 3 going 3-2 this weekend. Keeps his championship lead intact. It was 31 at the start of the weekend, 26 now with 2 to go. Next stop, China. Made some changes. Everybody made changes constantly throughout the weekend. Lucas Coenen said it was all good until the second race when he was not the best start, fell asleep a little bit during the race as well, and should have taken that opportunity when it presented itself. You know, suffer the consequences later and all the rest of it, but that is experience, first year in the class. He won't make the same mistake twice, I'm sure. But overall, it's been a good weekend for the Belgian. Jeffrey Herlings, 1:11 in the books. Good weekend all round. Fastest in time practice, second in the qualifying race, second in race 1, a winner in race 2 for the overall, for the 5th time here on probably the toughest circuit for a Dutch rider. His words, not mine. Either way, Herlings, 1:11 for winning here in Turkey this weekend. The MXGP of Turkey is done. We go to Shanghai, round 19, the penultimate round. You've only got a week to wait. We're there on the plane, first plane out of here. We'll see you then. Thanks for watching from me, Paul Malin, and the rest of the team. See you in Shanghai. Bye for now.